Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we are on the Pioneer server and Juris Trials has unlocked today, which means that we can now see the charm quality bonus of all of the heroes for the new season, and this is a really important factor because this will change the seasonal dynamic of heroes. It can make some heroes which are unusable to actually useful, and it can make good heroes even better and crazier. Honestly, it is a lot to break down, and if we did it for all 78 heroes in the game, is going to be an incredibly long video. So we're going to just begin with the Wilders, and then I'm going to go by which factions I think are going to be the most powerful, and basically carry on from there. But just another thing to mention is that the Mythic Plus charms seem to be the same as in the previous season, and even having the same different versions available for the various different heroes. So that will not be changing very much. Okay, Eironn, what ability does he have? Mythic Charms causes enemies hit to bleed for 5 seconds. The bleeding deals 50% physical damage per second and reduces affected enemies' physical and magical defense by 12% until the effect expires, but no stacking, it looks like. Increases the caster's attack by 5% for each bleeding enemy up to 25%. Okay, so this is definitely mainly for like AFK stages or PvP where you have multiple enemies that you're going to be targeting with your damage, and that is going to bleed more enemies, is going to defense shred all of them, but by kind of a minor amount, and also will boost your own attack based on the number of bleeding enemies. Overall, this is not really for boss content. This is not going to be good, but for AFK stages, it will increase the damage output of your team by defense shredding the enemies, and also a little bit of bonus damage from the bleed effect, but I think that will be minor, and also boosting the attack of the hero. Overall, this is a pretty good charm quality bonus for Eironn. It makes a lot of sense. Provides utility with the defense shred, and also provides an attack boost for himself to increase his own damage. And we saw from the previous season, Eironn's damage is actually not that bad. So I'm a pretty big fan of that. Okay, let's carry on to Lenya. Lenya is a really important hero, and she can be raked or braked basically by her quality bonus. So Mythic increases crit by 30, and crit damage boost by 50. That perfectly synergized with Lenya. She is heavily reliant on critical hits. Grants an extra 30 life drain, that increases her sustain, and for Mauler faction talents this season, they have heavy damage reduction. Even some of the artifacts we've seen so far in the video we went over yesterday, I can definitely see a PvP strategy that is just about damage reduction and massive sustain, self-sustain. So grants extra 30 life drain to critical attacks. She's going to be self-sustaining really well. After dealing a total of critical damage equal to 5,000% of base attack, which for Lenya, that's going to be probably the fastest of any hero because of all of her damage output. Increase attack by 25% for the rest of the battle. I actually like that. I think this charm bonus is perfectly catered to Lenya. Overall, I don't necessarily think this is one of the most powerful charm quality bonuses, but it really fits and synergizes well with Lenya's kit. And I think that is actually going to be an above average quality bonus that she can have. And like we said, there is a real... In this season, with the artifacts, the Mauler faction tiles, you're going to get some incredibly tanky, self-sustaining Lenyas that are going to be difficult to deal with. And that's basically the game plan for her. Okay, moving on to Indris. He's a really important hero, the new hero that we're going to be getting this season. Now, this is in Chinese. However, I got a translation of it, so I'm going to talk about it. But first of all, let's just read it in English because the Mythic is only going to add basically an additional effect, and I'll talk about it after you read the English. So each normal attack increases attack speed, and at mythic level by 10, it will still be. For the rest of the battle, up until 150 maximum attack speed, that is high. And especially because if you guys remember Indris, he's going to be dealing bonus true damage on all of his normal attacks. That is going to be honestly ridiculous. And so 150 attack speed. Once the attack speed bonus is maxed out, normal attacks deal an extra 20% true damage, and at maximum 24% bonus true damage on all normal attacks. And because of this charm quality bonus, I'm honestly thinking Indris is going to have some Dream Realm use. I'm calling it right now. There's going to be either pre-endless bosses. I don't know about post-endless. He's going to have some Dream Realm usage. I'm almost sure about it. I don't think he's going to be top tier meta, but he's going to have some use. Especially this charm bonus is crazy. Now, what does this mythic give? This first text that says 20%. All normal attack damage is going to be boosted by 20%. Now, I don't know if that's amplifying his, for example, true damage that he has in his kit, or even this extra true damage, or if it's just his regular normal attack. But either way, that is going to be boosted damage. This is really a cool quality bonus, and actually I'll just spoil it right now. Odie has the same quality bonus, which is really suited for him as well, massively ramping up his attack speed, and then he's going to be able to deal bonus true damage after he's ramped up all of his attack speed. And you're going to max out your attack speed after just 15 normal attacks, because 10 stacking each time you cast a normal attack. So I really like this quality bonus. I think that it is going to make Indris a force to be reckoned with, and the devs know what they're doing, basically making Indris actually somewhat relevant in this season at least. Okay, talking about Hewynn charm bonus. Now, I've looked at Hewynn already, and I am not a fan. Not as good as the current season we're in. Every 5 seconds, fires a magic missile at the enemy placed closest to the symmetrical tile, dealing damage equal to 100% attack to the target and its adjacent enemies, reducing their crit resist by 30, reducing their vitality by 40, which reduces the healing effectiveness, or how well they can be healed and shielded, for 5 seconds, unstackable. For each enemy hit, the cooldown for the next cast of the skill is reduced by 0.5 seconds, up to a maximum reduction of 2.5 seconds. It just seems so strange that Hewynn has this effect, because this is like a debuffing type effect. It doesn't really make sense in Hewynn's kit, who's more of a support damage reducer and healer for your team. But you would want something like energy, you would want something to increase her own tankiness so that she can get off an ultimate. Like this season, we were spoiled with Hewynn having a great charm bonus to be immune to like the first fatal blow. But here, this is nowhere near as good. Honestly, Hewynn is going to be falling out hard of the meta. She was only good because of her charm bonus mainly in the season, as well as Wild Faction Towns being so good. I am suspecting Hewynn is not going to be a top option PvP in the upcoming season, and that's basically her only game mode where she's useful. Okay, moving on to Kafra. Kafra, which I think most people are not going to relate to. However, let's just go through his mythic quality bonus. When a battle starts, increases the cast attack by 40% and haste by 40 for 8 seconds. So this is the assassin quality bonus of this season, and I actually think is very strong. Attack boost of 40% and haste of 40 immediately from the first 8 seconds, and it's going to last a whole 8 seconds for you to get a kill or an assist. And each time the caster gets an assist or a defeat on a non-summon enemy, the effect will refresh, giving another 8-second duration, or extending the duration by 8 seconds. Meanwhile, the caster gains a 200% attack multiplier shield lasting 8 seconds, which is a decent shield, nothing game-changing, maybe like 20% of his health or something. But really, refreshing this attack buff, massive attack buff, this is going to be powerful. The attack boost and haste boost that you get from the beginning of the match, this is perfect for assassin-related heroes. And I think heroes which have this quality bonus, they're going to be happy in PvP content. Yeah, I actually feel like this is better than the assassin quality bonus we had in the current season. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I am just liking this one more. Because the one we have in the current season, it kind of diminished over time. But this one, for the whole 8 seconds, you have that maximum buff, and then you just need to get a kill or assist, and then you get another 8 seconds. And in PvP, you're bound to get a kill or assist within 8 seconds, right? Every 3 seconds deals extra damage to the healthiest target the caster has attacked in the last 3 seconds. The extra damage equals 28% of the total damage dealt during the past 3 seconds, excluding this skill. Each enemy hit during the first 3 seconds increases this damage by an extra 20%. Okay, this is a really kind of strange skill, but it's basically going to be like a damage amplification over 3 seconds of the total damage dealt. But is this based on her own damage dealt? Is it based on all allies targeting this target? And the damage is again going to be boosted based on each enemy which is hit. Like, for example, I guess if Florabelle is attacking like 3 different enemies, this is going to be boosted by 60% extra damage. This damage that is going to be hit. Either way, I find this is a really weird sounding quality bonus. I don't know exactly how it's going to work in practice. But I'm not necessarily a fan of it, just reading it. Maybe I'm not interpreting it fully. You guys can let me know your opinions on this mythic quality bonus, but I don't think it's going to really change that much, just a bit of bonus damage. I don't think it's going to be game breaking, but it is every 3 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to Granny. So Granny, when a battle starts and the first time the caster's HP ratio drops below 50%, okay, this is survival related, gains a 60% health shield that lasts for 6 seconds. Each time this effect triggers, increases the caster's physical and magical defense by 30%. When gaining the shield for the first time, becomes unaffected until the shield expires. When a battle starts, okay, that's initially you're going to have the shield and you're going to be unaffected. Wow, so they're going to be unaffected at the beginning of the battle because that's the first shielding you're going to get. That is powerful. For any hero, this is a powerful effect. For PvP specifically, being unaffected at the beginning of the battle and having a 60% health shield is pretty good. Now, Granny is not a good hero, but if any other hero has this quality bonus, I could see them actually being useful. The shield lasts for 6 seconds, and each time this effect triggers, increases the caster's physical and magical defense by 30%. That's pretty good. So, beginning of battle, they're gonna have 30% boost, and then after you drop below 50% health, another 30% physical and magical defense boost. Not a bad quality bonus. I like it, but Granny is still not gonna be a good hero. Because she's just too far. She is too far gone. Okay, so we have Faramor, one of the fan favorites, and I'm expecting him to do great things in this season as well. Mythic, gains 200 energy after casting an ultimate. So he's going to cycle his ultimates like crazy. Although, he doesn't need to cycle his ultimates. He's not a hero that really needs that 200 bonus energy. He just needs to maintain his ultimate, which he should be able to do. But anyway, triggers up to 3 times every 10 seconds, but like that's only if you recast it that it's actually going to trigger, so it's not perfectly suited for Faramor. While casting the ultimate increases damage dealt by 25% for 5 seconds. Again, this is really suited for heroes that cycle ultimates like crazy. Faramor is a hero that applies his ultimate, and then he's like, okay, I don't have to apply it again until I run out of energy, which generally is going to take a long time. So he's not going to get this bonus damage dealt effect. He's going to get on his first cast, but then is probably going to maintain, and then he's not going to gain bonus follow-up damage. So this is not a very suited charm for Faramor. So that kind of is a little bit of bad news, because you would want a charm effect which is really suited to him to take him onto an even higher level. But I still believe there's no doubt Faramor is going to be a top tier hero, either for AFK stages and Dream Realm in this season. So basically don't fret even if his quality bonus isn't necessarily the most catered to him. Okay, we have each normal attack increases attack speed by 10 for the rest of battle, up to 150. So this is the same effect on Lily May as it was on Indris that we saw. And this is a powerful effect. Like we've said, it is a powerful effect. But now for Lily May, the thing is, for Dream Realm, there are too many better damage dealer heroes compared to Lily May. Lily May is not going to be a spot in any meta team for Dream Realm, and this is not going to be enough to take her there. Maybe for like backup teams if you're limited on options, but for Ravage Realm, for example, at the end of the season, this is going to be great. She always shines in Ravage Realm, and there's no doubt she's going to shine even harder with this quality bonus. But that's basically it, because for other game modes, you don't really need her in the season. Okay, moving on to Lyca. Lyca is not really that important of a hero, but let's see what type of quality bonus she has. So she's going to have the same quality bonus as Eironn has. Causes enemies hit to bleed for 5 seconds. The bleeding deals his physical damage per second and reduces. So she's going to have even more debuffing potential. Already she has physical defense reduction in her kit. This is going to be further physical and magical defense reduction. And it's going to increase her own attack. And we did see like she can deal decent damage, definitely in Ravage Realm. Although in Ravage Realm she wasn't even a top damage dealer option, but maybe this season she will be, because she does provide a really good buff, attack speed buff, and also like this will be defense shred. I could imagine her being used for Ravage Realm maybe this season, or for PvP content if you're using her as a buffer. Her damage is not that bad. So yeah, not a bad quality bonus. Moving on to Bryon. Bryon is going to be interesting because first of all, we know he's going to get a Supreme Plus skill upgrade. And already he's good in PvP to take enemy Lily May interruptions. He has that value going for him. So let's take a look at his quality bonus. Will it take him onto another tier? Increases damage dealt by 20% and by an extra 10% every 10 seconds, up to a total increase of 100% after 60 seconds into a battle. Increases haste by an extra 40. So I'm not a fan. Honestly, Bryon's main role is PvP. And like in PvP, battles are going to be short. Like within 10-20 seconds, it's over. You're not going to get like this long battle, which is going to ramp up your attack over the entire battle. You have an increased damage dealt by 20%, but Bryon's damage himself is not necessarily anything spectacular. He's mainly there, like we said, to take an enemy Lily May interruption. But maybe with the Supreme Plus skill upgrade and this charm, he could be a decent option for PvP. Other than that, for Dream boss content, I don't think he's going to see any use. Basically, Bryon's only good for boss content when he has some sort of quality bonus from his charms, which debuff the enemies or cause the enemy to take increased damage or buff your team or something. Because other than that, his own single target damage isn't anything amazing. Yeah, so So that's the thing with Bryon. Unfortunately, I think this is not going to be enough to really make him useful that much. Okay, Lorsan. Lorsan is good for AFK stages. We've already seen that. Let's take a look at what type of effect he's going to get. Mythic quality bonus. Every 5 seconds, fires a magic missile at the enemy. Plays closest to... Oh, no. This is the same as the Hewynn, right? Now, for AFK stages, because he's a damage dealer for AFK stages, reducing the vitality of enemies and also dealing damage is going to maybe help you burst through and deny the HP recovery of enemies in AFK stages, allowing you to clear out the high deficits. So I can see how this could be decent for AFK stages. Also because it seems like it fires a magic missile at the enemy placed closest to the symmetrical tile and adjacent enemies, and you're going to be grouping up enemies in AFK stage with Eironn. You can have them all together. Lorsan can hit all 5 of them at the same time, dealing the damage and also reducing the cooldown for the next cast. So like, actually for AFK stages, I think this might be crazy because yeah, he's gonna probably have the maximum cooldown reduction. So it's gonna be every 2.5 seconds firing off. There's 100% attack damage multiplier, reducing vitality, reducing crit resist to increase the critical damage from your team. And it's gonna be the maximum cycling of this because all enemies are gonna be grouped up and you're gonna hit them and adjacent enemies. So I actually think this is gonna be pretty good for Lorsan for AFK stages, which is his major role. That is his major role. Okay, Damian. Damian is good for PvP. Let's take a look at what he has. Every 5 seconds. Oh, is going to be the same? Now, this I'm not a fan of. Like, I mean, I guess for PvP, if you have enemies grouped up, then this can get some decent value. But really, with Damian, what you're looking for is, like, that massive, like, damage reduction charm bonus that he gives to an ally in front of him. I really like that when he has it because it just gives him more supportive, basically, potency, a major support buff for your team. This is basically a debuff to the enemies and some damage. And I mean, Damian is going to stay in the fight for the whole duration of the fight. He'll be able to keep casting this and get value of it. But I don't think this is necessarily the most suited quality bonus he could have for PvP content. Okay, we have Arden. Arden is a bit used for AFK stages. However, Tasi has kind of power crept him and replaced him. But let's see. When inflicting a control effect, deals 40% attack damage to the target and its adjacent enemies. For every 1 second the control effect lasts, this damage is triggered again. The caster also deals 25% more damage to enemies under any control effect. I feel like this is really similar to the one we had in this season, if I remember correctly. But boosted damage dealt to enemies under control effects and a bit of damage per second onto enemies under control effects. I think this 40% is a little bit low. The boosted 25% damage to enemies under control effect is strong, and definitely like for Labyrinth, for AFK stages, is improving his potency, right? If you're using him for these game modes. Well, actually, Labyrinth, you don't even have the quality bonus, so what am I talking about? But for AFK stages, you will have the quality bonus, and that is going to increase Arden's damage, basically, and help you burst through high deficit stages if you're using Arden. However, I'm more of a fan of Tasi, and I want to see what Tasi's charm quality bonuses. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's suited for Arden, but I still feel like Tasi is just going to be better than Arden. Let's see what Tasi has. Tasi has the same one. Yeah, inflicting a control effect. So Tasi is going to be the same. However, the thing is, Tasi generally deals more damage. Also, when you have the blast charms, like a Mythic Plus charms, she has a massive 5.5 second hypnotization, which is considered a control effect. So she's going to have a higher uptime of control effects onto enemies to deal that boosted damage. And yeah, so I'm more excited about this charm quality bonus on Tasi because she's better in AFK stages. And in PvP, this is going to be great because she is good in PvP and she can crowd control the enemies and boost her damage dealt onto those lockdown enemies, which is going to be strong. Honestly, she's going to be even better for PvP with that quality bonus. Okay, we have Parisa. Parisa is going to have the same charm quality bonus as Eironn has. And Lyca also has. Now, Parisa is mainly used for battle drills, sometimes Ravage Rum at the end of the season, but this season she is not. Apart from that, she has some PvP use if you have her invested. You can use her as a buffer. Even Guild Supremacy, she was used in the past, but now I think we have too many good hero options that she's probably not going to be used. So she just kind of doesn't have a game mode where she is necessarily on top, which is an issue. She increases her attack by 5% up to 25%. This is overall, this is good. And for battle drills, that's mainly what I'm looking at for Parisa. And this is going to be beneficial for her there. But that's basically it. And battle drills is not that important of a game mode. for being honest. Okay, Ulmus, I'm excited because Ulmus in the previous year or this current season, as you guys know, he has a true damage conversion onto ally behind him. I hope he has something as strong. No, weakens enemies within 2 tiles. Okay, so he's going to be frontline up next to the enemies. And if you're grouping them up with Eironn, for example, for AFK stages, all the enemies are going to be hit by this. Every 5 seconds, reducing their attack by 20%. Useful debuff. Defense shredding them by 20%. Physical and magical defense for 10 seconds. Unstackable, unfortunately. This effect immediately triggers when the caster is defeated. Okay, but your Ulmus probably is not going to be dying. Okay, so this is interesting. It's a useful attack debuff and also defense shred. Defense shred going to increase your damage for AFK stages to clear the high deficit stages. The attack decrease to increase your survivability of your team. Overall, I think there's a very well suited charm to Ulmus. And honestly, even though the true damage was really nice, mainly for PvP content in the previous season, Ulmus giving that to his damage dealer ally behind him. I think that even for PvP, this is going to be useful. Attack debuff onto enemies, and usually you're running Ulmus and Eironn together in PvP. You group them all up together. Ulmus is going to attack down them and also defense shred them. I think that it is suited for him, and I like it overall. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for the Wilder faction heroes. We will do other follow-up videos of the different factions as well. But let me know what you guys thought about these quality bonus. Which hero out of these Wilders do you think is going to shine the most thanks to all of these? Let me know in the comment section if there's anything that I missed or maybe I didn't emphasize on enough. Please let me know in the comment section. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There's a link in the description of this video as well as a pinned comment that you can click. And if you make a purchase through using my link, you will support me at no extra cost to you. And also you gain the 5% bonus dragon crystals for making a purchase on the Farlight store. But thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.